Hello, and welcome to Spirit Among Us. So this week we've been talking all about pursuing humility, how it's very important for us to be humble as Christians in our lives. If we want to be real followers of Jesus, that involves humility, and there's no getting around that. Now today what I want to look at is something that will perhaps give us some more motivation to pursue humility in our lives. Let's take a look at 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 5. Likewise, you who are younger, be subject to the elders. Clothe yourselves, all of you, with humility toward one another, for God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble. So again, we read this verse earlier, talking about the importance of clothing ourselves with humility, of being humble in our lives, being humble before other people. Clothe yourselves in humility. And he gives a reason for that. For God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble. God sets himself against those who are prideful and alongside those who are humble. He withholds grace from those that are prideful, but gives grace to those that show humility. So the motivation for us to be pursuing humility in our lives is that God opposes the proud. Now, an example we have from Scripture of this happening is the story of the Tower of Babel. Let's take a look at Genesis chapter 11, verses 1 through 8. Now the whole earth had one language and the same words, and as people migrated from the east, they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and settled there. And they said to one another, Come, let us make bricks, and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and bitumen for mortar. Then they said, Come, let us build ourselves a city, and a tower with its top in the heavens, and let us make a name for ourselves, lest we be dispersed over the face of the whole earth. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of man had built. And the Lord said, Behold, they are one people, and they all have one language, and this is only the beginning of what they will do, and nothing that they propose to do will now be impossible for them. Come, let us go down, and there confuse their language, so that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord dispersed them from there over the face of all the earth, and they left off building the city. So this goes pretty far back, after the flood, when everyone on earth had the same language. Everyone was speaking the same tongue. They could all understand each other because they all had the same language. We don't know exactly what this language might have been called, but all we know is that they all spoke the same. They could all understand each other, and they were all seemingly one collective group. And as revealed here, they were a prideful group. I mean, look at what they said. Come, let us build ourselves a city and a tower with its top in the heavens, and let us make a name for ourselves. Now, why did they want to build a city? Why did they want to build a tower that was bigger than any other building that had ever been created? It was for their own ego. It was for their own glory. It was out of pride. They wanted to be impressive. They wanted to make a name for themselves. They wanted their name to be known, that people would see this tower. People would see what was accomplished and say, wow, these people must have been impressive. These people must have been amazing. And that was their goal. They wanted their own glory. And in fact, in addition to that, they were also disobeying one of God's direct commands. He had told Noah and his descendants, that they were to multiply and fill the whole earth. Now, in open opposition to God, in pride, seeking their own glory, they stuck together and they built a tower. They built a city that would bring them glory, that would feed their pride even more. That was their goal. They were openly defying what God had commanded them to do. Instead of covering the earth, they said, we'll just stay right here. we'll seek our own glory, and we won't seek God's way. Now we see what God did in response to that. He most certainly opposed them. He did not want them building this tower. He did not want them defying him in this way. He did not want them boosting their own egos and trying to glorify themselves in this way. So what did he do? He scattered them over the face of the earth. He confused their language and then scattered them everywhere. They didn't want to listen to him. They didn't want to follow his command to spread over the entire earth. So he said, fine, I'll make you do it. I'll do it for you. If you're not going to listen to me because of your pride, I will oppose you and make you do it anyways. So why should we be pursuing humility in our lives? Well, one reason is that God opposes the proud. Someone who is full of pride will want things that are contrary to God, and will aim for things that are contrary to his plan and to his will and to what is good. Now, if there's an agenda that's bringing evil into the world, if there's an agenda that's bringing corruption into the world, God is going to oppose that. And one of those agendas is pride. And that is why God opposes those who are prideful. Thank you for watching, and God bless.